It's Tales of the Cocktail 2013. It's an event called Shot and the Beer. We're having a shot inside of a beer. It's becoming a trend. You and I had one a while back. You had a Drambuie and a beer with me in New York, and I was like, wow, this is so good.
It is good.
What's all this all about?
So Shot and a Beer is a resurgence of a really classic drink called a Boilermaker, right, which people used to serve, which was just literally a shot with a beer back. You get a full draft beer behind the shot, and you do the shot, and you chase it with the beer. Then in the 80s, it saw a resurgence in drinks like the bombs, the depth charges, where you would actually take the shot glass and drop it in half full beer. And now that's kind of fallen by the wayside, so now we're actually seeing Shot and a Beer come back in sort of its own right. And what I have done is I've created a new Drambuie drink called the Rusty Ale, right? Take on the Rusty Nail, where I'm actually putting a shot of Drambuie in the glass and then topping it with a draft beer. So it becomes essentially a beer cocktail in its simplest form. What do you think?
I love it. So you put a shot of Drambuie in the Ruby Red Shiner Bock here.
Yeah, right, exactly. For this event, I like the Shiner Ruby Redbird. Really, really nice because it's a grapefruit-based beer. And when you put Drambuie in that, essentially what you're doing is you're adding some honey and spice to the grapefruit, which is one of my favorite ways to enjoy breakfast, right? So now I just have it in a glass of beer.
And we've seen a lot of people coming to this event tonight. It's just now closing down, but all kinds of great spirits like Drambuie inside of a really tasty craft brew. What have people been saying to you, Samantha? They've been coming by here.
They actually said that out of all of them here, that this one was the best. And then I had 2 or 3 people that actually had never drank beer before, and they weren't interested, and then they tried this one, and they said they really liked it.
So you're taking beer, you're adding a shot to it, and it's giving it a completely different character.
Yeah, it gives the spirit a different character, it gives the beer a different character, and it allows you to enjoy them both in a completely different way. So I think it's really great. It gives the beer a little bit more kick, obviously, because you're adding some alcohol to the beer, but it gives it more complexity and more depth, especially when you're working with a spirit like Drambuie that's bringing a ton of spice, sweetness, and all kinds of complexity that is in the Drambuie, and you're layering it on top of a beer. One of my favorite, actually, that I really enjoy is Drambuie with an IPA. Because essentially what you're doing is you have a nice bitter beer and you're adding the sweetness of Drambuie. That's like adding bitters to an old-fashioned, right? So you end up with a gorgeous, balanced cocktail. It's really, really great.
So if you got a shot around, you got a beer, just experiment. See what it tastes like, right?
Throw them in a glass. What do you think, Samantha?
I agree.
Cheers. Here's a shot and a beer. Tells the cocktail with Drambuie.
Cheers.
Cheers.